Well, happy New Year's Eve to all of you. This is Carla, and tonight is December 31st, 2018, and it is about 5:25 in the evening. So first I did want to wish everybody a happy New Year's Eve, and I hope that you stay safe out there. I have a lot to share, and so this might end up in being split in 2 or 3 videos. But I will mark them, video 1, video 2, video 3. And these videos are going to be called Eyes on You / me. And this is my personal testimony of falling into what I'm going to call electromagnetic hypersensitivity, basically Wi-Fi, electromagnetic wave sensitivity, poisoning. You can call it what you want. For me, it's EHS, electromagnetic hypersensitivity, which is recognized by the World Health Organization, but very downplayed from what I've researched. Today is December 31st, and as of December 29th, that marked my 1 month of being symptomatic to EHS. And when I say that, what I mean is that I might have been electromagnetic hypersensitive for months to years prior to actually feeling symptoms. So my first awareness was, let me back up just a tad. My first awareness is due to my very, very best friend, soul sister, who I call Sunshine. Her name is Pam Nickel. And I have watched her for the last almost 2 years, very bad in the last year, go through basically what at the time we called Wi-Fi poisoning. And she found it by fluke. She was bedridden. And I basically said to her, because I've been in the medical field for 30-something years, I've been a hospice caregiver. And so I, told her, your symptoms mimic Parkinson's or ALS or some kind of neurological disorder. So I watched her, and we observed, and we learned, and we found the triggers, and we, learned what made her so sick, and we learned, how she could stay away from it, not get better, just be able to not get triggered. So I had a full awareness of this, at least 2 years ago. Like I said, it got really worse than last year. And I just truly believed that Pam was a very unique individual, and she is anyway, but that, God had her on this journey because she is so unique, and that she's like an isolated incident, that this isn't going to happen to me. This isn't going to happen to my good friend or my daughters. This is just, this is Pam's journey, and she's unique. So, I knew there were going to be lessons through it, but I had no clue. So I had the awareness. I never have been symptomatic, and I operate basically with 2 phones and have for over a year, and I've always been very exposed to cell phones, electronic devices, laptops. I owned my own business. I've been around it a lot. So I'm like, something's going on over there, because I've been around it a lot and I got no problems, and I'm not a well person. I've been a sick person since 1993. So November 29th, 2018. Well, let me back up again. I moved from a very rural community that I've been living in for the last almost year and a half in Nevada to Vegas in well, I moved here temporarily. I was working on a job, and so Pahrumps my home. But in April, I started a live-in caregiving job in Vegas. And that was in April. In July, he passed away. And I was just exhausted. Just totally exhausted. Could not get my energy up for anything. No energy, no strength. I would lay on this couch and I would wake up an hour and a half, 2 hours later. So I figured, it was a pretty stressful job. He had a lot of nighttime issues. So we were up anywhere from 4 to 8 times a night. So I'm like, it's like, okay, if there's reasons why you're tired. But I just couldn't get my energy up. So in the end of August, in the middle of August to end of August, I was having spinal epidurals done because of degenerative bones I have in my neck and my back. And so the first time they didn't say anything to me. The second time they said to me that I was falling into what they call bradycardia, which is a low heart rate, during both procedures. And then in the second one that I had actually dropped down to 39, I think they said, and that I needed to be checked by my primary doctor. And so I was like, well, that's weird, Then I'm like, oh my God, I dipped down that low and you still did it, still did the procedure. I'm not sure I thought that was a good choice, but anyway, it's neither here nor there at this point. So I think it was like a week later or so, it was September 7th, actually. I went to my primary doctor and went in, and when they triaged me, my heart rate was 44. And so she's like, whoa, and I said, yeah, I was told that's why I need to come in, and I don't know what's going on. So my primary doctor sent me to the ER, and the ER admitted me. My heart rate was 49 when I got there. So ended up that they did all the heart cardio tests, stress test, did a CT of my heart, did labs, did the echocardiogram. And the echocardiogram is what showed that it looked like I had a mild heart attack. But I've had that said to me, I think it was 10 years ago, 8 years ago, same thing. So, I neither here nor there. The only thing that showed up was that my thyroid was extremely low, and which was understandable for me because I had lost 140 pounds. I had the gastric sleeve, and they had been adjusting my meds as my weight dropped down. So, but I have my heart rate has been low, really low, many, many times. And I've never had bradycardia, never had heart rate. Okay. Well, I've never been 61, but just saying. So it ended up that, basically the doctor said, and the cardiologist that came in said that it looks like because of my low hypothyroidism, that was causing the bradycardia, the low heart rate. And that I needed to follow up with an endocrinologist. So I had him refer me to one because I wasn't real happy with the one I had. And so then, I don't know, I think it was a week or a couple of weeks later, that was the 7th. It took me November. It was the beginning of November. Went into the doctor, and it took me 2 months to get my heart rate up 11 points. So I was 55. When I went in September 7th, it was 44. So it took 2 months to get my heart rate up to 55. And so the cardiologist had, done the whole heart monitor for 10 days. I had another CT done. I had a sleep study done. And then I had more labs done before in the middle of November before I went in to go see the endocrinologist, okay? Try to follow me here. I'm trying to follow me. I'm trying to remember where I'm at. So it ended up that in November, when I went into the endocrinologist, I had just, well, let me back up. The week before that was middle of November, and it was, oh my goodness, see, now I'm going to completely forget. November 29th, I had gone to Sylmar, California with my boss, and we went, it was the 28th we went. On the 29th, we went to go visit a family member in a retirement community, and we were in there less than 10 minutes, and I had this swarm of symptoms that hit me. All of a sudden, I got a headache, and my whole chest felt really tight. I had like heart palpitations. My throat felt like it was closing, and I'm sitting there going, what the frick is going on? I mean, I like felt fine just before that. And so I'm like asking myself, what? Wait, we just had lunch. We went to See's Candy. Could it have been the turkey sandwich? Could it have been the candy? Could it have been the combo? And I'm like, okay, well, that would make me feel nauseated. Why do I have a headache and heart palpitations and throat feels like it's closing? And I'm like, at that point, all I could do is just try to breathe, because my boss was visiting with her family member. The last thing I wanted to do was show some kind of distress. I'm the one that's driving her here. I'm the one that's taking care of her. And all of a sudden I'm feeling like, what the frick? Am I having a freaking heart attack here? And so I just tried to stay calm and not show any distress and just, breathe. So all of a sudden it occurred to me, you know what? Check the Wi-Fi signals just to see. And there were 16. And all I could think of at that moment was, oh my God, I'm having all these symptoms. And what if they were coming from all these Wi-Fi signals? What would that mean to all these elderly people in here? So Jane Doe in 252 got dizzy and fell out of her bed and cracked her head open and died of a brain bleed. Oh well, she's 88. Joe Blow down in 163, his Alzheimer's just seems like it's, really advanced, and now he needs to go to memory care. He's 82. Jane Smith in 89 had a heart attack in her sleep. She had a series of heart issues. Not surprising. What if? What if those 80-year-old people, 70-year-old people, 90-year-old people in these retirement communities are feeling what I'm feeling, and their bodies are so fragile and so worn out that they can't tolerate it? What if? That's all I kept thinking. I had tears in my eyes thinking, oh my God, I can't believe that these people could be and may have died from these frequencies. I mean, it's like this, when they say your life flashes in front of you, all I could think about is my best friend's experience over the last year and a half, 2 years, and all of a sudden what I'm feeling. And what does that mean for these elderly people in this home? Their home. I just wanted to cry. And then all I could think of is, oh my God, what is Anna feeling? She's 86. What is she feeling? I wonder if she's feeling anything. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I'm having sympathy pains for Pam after 2 years. Maybe. I mean, I just self-doubted over and over and over again. And so when I couldn't wait till we left. And then we went into the family member's room, apartment, and I could feel the intensity drop. Just a tad. But I could feel it drop. And I was like, whoa. Whoa. So I pulled up my phone, looked on the Wi-Fi signals, and out in the lobby where we were was 16. In her room was 10. I felt it. I'm like, oh man, I'm losing it. Shh. So I couldn't wait until we got outside because I was like, I wanted to know if she felt anything. And so we walk outside and I'm like, Anna, how do you feel? And she's like, why do you ask? And I said, I just want to know. How do you feel? Do you feel weird? And she's like, no, I was sitting there and she's like, all of a sudden I felt nauseated. She goes, I had a headache. She goes, every bone and joint hurt. And she's like, and I just felt so tired. She goes, I just felt like I wanted to go to sleep. And she's like, I was thinking, maybe it was the turkey. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought the same thing. I said, I was doing the same thing. She goes, you felt the same way? I said, I didn't feel those symptoms. I said, I got a headache. I said, I got chest pains. I said, my chest got really tight. My throat got really tight. I was short of breath. I said, I was having a really hard time keeping my breathing calm. And she's like, well, what was it? And I went, I think I know. And she's like, what was it, the turkey? And I said, no, not the turkey. So we get out to the truck and I pull up the signals and I felt it drop. I felt the intensity feel better. There was 16 inside and there was 10 or 8 on the outside. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, Anna, I really believe this is what it is. So she didn't understand. So I had to explain to her what I've learned and, that this is what I believe we felt. And so it took us about 12 hours to get over that. We both just felt zapped, just like, like how you feel the day after a really bad flu. We just felt really tired, but we had to push through because we had to get home the next day. So that was, we got home on the 30th, and that Monday, I woke up not feeling good. I was exhausted on Sunday, which I figured, no problem, that makes sense. Because I have my own health issues, but since I lost 140 pounds, I'm healthier now than I've ever been. I'm more in tune to my body now than I've ever been. And I got a clean bill of health on my heart and a clean bill of health that my thyroid is normal. So I'm healthy as an ox right now. But I still have, fibromyalgia, and I still have chronic fatigue and this other crap. So it's just annoying. So that Monday I didn't feel good. Now I'm going to get a little TMI, but since I had my bariatric surgery, I fell into this 2% category, which I have a history of doing, of having rare colon issues now. I've been diagnosed with colitis 3 times. I can't poop. And so I've tried all kinds of different things, and I don't have any problems in the gastro part, but when it drops down in that area, it just like goes on strike. So I've learned this product that I use. It's like a colon detox. So on the regular days, every day I do 2, and then on the day that I'm home, I do 3, so I can really go. And that morning on Monday, I had to go to work, so I just do the normal 2. It just, doesn't do anything major. And I'm like pooping and pooping and pooping and pooping and pooping, and like diarrhea kind. And I'm like, what the frick is going on here? Like that, I don't do this. And I just didn't feel right. I just didn't feel right. I felt off, but I didn't feel sick, and I wasn't in pain or anything. I just didn't feel right. And so I take my neighbor, to her daughter to work. And so I dropped her off, and I had to go to Smith's grocery store here. And basically, I'm going to stop right here and start a next one.